Hey, Pocket Trash here. Well, it is Monday. I don't know how long it's been since I've made a video. I wanted to make a video on Superion, a Gundam, some other stuff this week. But I bought a new truck on Thursday. So that was four days ago. The transmission went out today. It's a 2006 Dodge 3/4 ton with a Cummins. I bought it. Yeah, the thing looks brand new. And the transmission went out today. I have driven the truck 300 miles. And it went out today. Anyway. I was planning on doing some stuff, but I've been fighting that and chasing other stuff pretty much all week, so I've done pretty much nothing around here besides work on trucks and work on bikes, and that's it. And then what really ticks me off is I found a coolant leak on it night before last. So, no. I found it last afternoon, maybe, I guess it was about 4 o'clock, and I called and said, hey, you know, I got a coolant leak, and he said, well, bring it to his mechanic. Yeah, it's got a warranty on it. His mechanic that the warranty is with is at a gas station. So I'm bringing a 2006 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive Cummins diesel to a gas station to be worked on. All the other cars in line are like a like a 68 Cadillac and all this other just old junk. And then here's my, comparatively new, huge frickin' truck. But this is the guy that he wants to fix my truck. So we find, I tell him where the leak is. I already know where it is. It's on a little hose this long behind the turbocharger, between the turbocharger and the block. And so I tell him I don't want just a piece of, heater hose right there, because it's right next to the turbo and that thing gets hot as hell. And he's like, oh, well, I'll call Dodge in the morning and see about getting that. So I went to the Dodge. It's one of the Dodges that got shut down whenever they decided to downsize Chrysler. So they didn't have the part. I went out, just to make sure that I don't have a ride to get home from this place. It's 30 miles from my house. I don't want to be sitting while they're getting a hose trucked in from God knows where. So I called another Dodge dealership in Lafayette, and they had 2 of them. I drove over there. I was going to buy one, put it in the cup holder. When I got there in the morning, he could just take it, grab it, put it on. While I was there, I noticed the shop was, fairly empty. And I said, y'all not busy? He said, no. I said, could y'all put that on now? He said, yeah. So I ended up just having them install it. Turned out to be a bigger job than what the guy that estimated it there and the guy at the gas station thought it was going to be. Took a Cummins certified tech an hour and a half to change it because the 2 pipes almost touch. So you had to dismantle all this on the backside and then put it on here, then put it all together. It was built around the hose. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't bring it to Joe Blow hole in the wall parts changer to change. So anyway, then whenever I get home, I push on the brakes and the truck wants to keep going. I push on the brakes and it starts pushing so hard that normally I just put my foot on the brake on this truck and it stops. I'm actually having to press the brakes. When I put it from drive into neutral, the RPMs jump from 700 where it idles at, and where the truck was trying to maintain its idle, up to 1500 about that fast. Just whoa, and then it goes back to a nice, pleasant little 700 RPM idle. So I called the guy and say, hey, I got another problem with the truck. Well, you should have brought it to the mechanic I told you to bring it to. I said I did. He told me he told me he was going to try and get the parts. I went to get the parts because they didn't have them in town. And I had them change, the problem I had this morning that I told you about is no longer valid. That's gone. Well, I can't diagnose anything over the phone. You need to bring it to the mechanic. So, I said, fine, I'll bring it to the mechanic. But first, I'm bringing it back to a Dodge place, and I'm having a Cummins certified tech go over the truck, and I'm wanting them to fix every frickin' thing wrong with it. Because I just spent $22 grand on this truck. And I think that I should, be able to get it fixed right, and not at some guy who, in between fixing my truck, is going to pump gas for somebody. I mean, is that too much to ask? I mean, they got the 2 gas pumps, they got 2 bays, and they got a guy washing cars. And that is where I'm going to bring my Dodge to get fixed. And it just ticks me off. It ticks me off that the truck has 300 miles on it since I bought it. And he's getting, I'm inconveniencing him that my truck has got problems. Anyway, I had one of my brother's friends is actually a diesel mechanic. That's what he does for a living. And he came out. And me and Philip had pretty much decided it was probably the torque converter that failed. Because it's got one of those lock-up torque converters, and I don't know if it's possible, but that's what we're thinking is some sort of way it got locked, engaged, to where it's always trying to pull the transmission. You put it in neutral, it's driving the transmission, but it's in neutral, so it's not going anywhere. Put it in drive, and it's taking that lock-up converter, which isn't made like a clutch on a truck, like on a stick shift, and it's just taking and basically raping it right now. Just, it's locked up because the brakes are locking it up on this side, and it's just constantly spinning against the other side. Like they got the pump side and they got the stator side or something like that on a torque converter. Because, I mean, I've got an edge attitude on it. So I can watch all my temperatures, exhaust temperatures, everything in real time. And as soon as you go and do it, put it in gear at a stop, all the temperatures start climbing like crazy. Except the engine, it stays pretty normal. Of course, it's got like 3 gallons of antifreeze in it, so it takes a while to really heat up. But so that's where I've been this week. Y'all have a good one, and I'll show you some stuff I got later. I need to get this off my chest before I can do anything fun. So I'll talk to y'all later.